All right, here we go. So this is the walkthrough for this board. I had a few people ask about it, so I figured I'd do a full video on it. I'll just basically give you a quick run through of what's actually on the board, and then I'll explain to you how everything's run and how I'm getting all the sounds. So I've got the drums, obviously. These are Yamaha KU100 silent kick pedals. These are, they're both called kick pedals, but I use these for the triggers for the Roland TM-2 trigger module. There's a whole bunch of different sounds that you can get out of this. I use 2 different kick sounds, and I use like a tambourine side stick combination, and then just like a straight snare. They're the 2 different combinations that I use. This is the Behringer Flow 8. It's kind of the heart of the thing, and I've got it absolutely maxed out at the moment. Obviously the RC-1 loop pedal from Boss, nice and simple, really reliable. With that I've got the Boss FS7, so that gives me the, instead of double tapping on this all the time, this one is to stop the loops and I can hold the clear, and this one clears the overdub. If I add stuff over the top, whatever the last thing that I recorded, it just gets rid of that. I've got the Boss tuner there, the TU2, and the good old HX Stomp, which is running a few things as well. On the sides, we've got this is my left and right out from the desk, and that's my power in. That powers everything on the board. And then on this side, I've got that's my mic in, and acoustic, bass, and then electric in. And I think that's about it. It's just built out of some ply, timber ply. You can see the paint's coming off. It gets quite a bit of use. I tend to do sort of 250 plus gigs a year. This has already done maybe 150 or something like that, 130 gigs or something so far since I built this. I'll flip it under. Oh, there's a little power supply under there as well, and it's just little bits of, I got like bits of timber and stuff just under there, just to get things at the right height, just to make it, you know, usable, I guess. Another thing I forgot too is there's a DI under here, sitting under the trigger module. And yeah, these are all from Australian pedal suppliers, I think. These little pancake mixer jacks, they're really good. I've got all the cables, all Magani, what is it? It says it on there. Magami cable. You can see it there. Different sizes, just to get it all done. I got these ones from Swamp, which is an Australian company, and yeah, I custom made all the cables and run everything. It all comes out to here, and then it goes under the board. So I'll flip that under and flip it over, and I'll give you a look underneath. All right, so that's under the hood. It is a little bit messy. This whole board is basically a proof of concept, just to sort of prove to myself that it works and it's going to be reliable, and then I'll build something a little more permanent and a bit nicer looking. But you can see that's the back end of the patch bay, all my ins all labeled, run across there. That's my outs, left and right out from the desk, and my power in, and then I've just got all the power coming to a surge protected power board, and they're all, obviously because they're upside down, this is obviously the bottom of the board, that's it up there. They're just cable tied in just to make sure that nothing moves really. And that's pretty much everything on the board, and I'll explain how it's all run now, how I've wired it all. All right, so she's back up the right way. So the way I've got everything run, obviously my guitar, my guitar in this one, bass in that one, electric in that one, and that's my vocals in. So it obviously goes through the other side of the patch bay. The vocals come straight into the desk, and so does the acoustic guitar. So they come into vocals there, and I think acoustic guitar there. And then these two are electric guitar and bass guitar. They come into the HX Stomp. Now I've got these running into left and right of the inputs. So bass goes in left, comes out left, and guitar goes in right, comes out right. I'm not going to go into detail on how that one works, but I recommend Scott Ull's channel for that. I think it's just Scott Ull or Scott Ull Music, but he does some awesome reviews on stuff and how-to videos. So if you want to know how to pan things left and right so you can get dual processing out of it, I recommend his videos. So from there, the bass comes into here, and then it comes out of there into the TU3 tuner. And then from there, it goes into its own input on the desk. I can't remember which one it is. The reason I do that is so that I can press the tuner to mute the bass, and I can pull the bass out when I just want to have just acoustic guitar to loop, or just play acoustic guitar on its own. Or if I want to do a solo, I don't want that bass underneath. That just pulls the bass out and I'm good to go. The electric guitar comes into the HX Stomp and then comes out into its own channel on the mixer as well. And what else? Like the drums. So from each of the kick pedals, the triggers come into here. That's your input, and then left and right output. Purely due to input limitations on the little overworked flow aid I've got here. They come into the same channel, just left and right of the same stereo channel. It's not ideal for mixing, but it does the job, and it's EQ'd pretty well. It sounds pretty decent, and it's consistent. The best thing about this whole setup is that it's just super consistent and reliable. Everywhere I go, I've got the same sound, and I don't really have to adjust anything ever, really. I can do some little tweaks if I need to. But what else? So where are we up to? So that's yeah, guitar, bass, electric, and then the kick and snare are into here. They all get sent via the monitor 1 send, comes up and goes into the looper, and then from the looper it comes out and it goes into the DI here. And again, I had to use the DI purely for input limitations, because the only input I had left was an XLR. So I had to use the DI to get the balanced output from that. So it goes to the DI and then comes into here. So when I get to a gig, all of these inputs, all the instruments come into the mixer, go through the looper back into its own channel. So all the EQ for those things is done in the monitor send, and then it comes back and it's just a volume thing. I'll show you the app and how that looks, but that's pretty much it. So I'll grab the tablet and I'll show you how the mixer works. So we've got it plugged in there, just the single IEC cable there. Makes things so easy. So she's all on, and this is how the mixer works. If you're not familiar with these desks, these mixers, yeah, digital, you can do majority of stuff manually, but I just leave everything flat. I do all my adjustments in the app. And so you've got two effects sends, and then you've got a monitor 1 send, a monitor 2 send, and then your main outputs, which is your main mixer. So because I'm sending all of my instruments via a monitor send to the looper and then coming back into another channel, all of the mixing is done in the monitor 1 send. So this is, what have we got there? My electric guitar, bass guitar, acoustic guitar, and then the drums, and they're all, I mean, they look pretty level, even, don't they? But they're all EQ'd on their own. I don't know why that's not showing EQ properly. Yeah, so pretty simple to use, pretty straightforward. Really, not much of a learning curve on this for a digital mixer, which is awesome. So then that comes back into, remember, they get sent via the auxiliary, back in via DI into this one. So when I go back to mains, all I've got here is just that's my loop return. See, it's called loop return, and my vocal. So that's all that's coming out of the main. I do usually have that acoustic up just a little bit because there's no, just for the effects basically, just so I can have a little bit of extra reverb on that acoustic when it's just acoustic. It doesn't get looped. The effects are what pre-send on the, I don't know. It doesn't loop the effects anyway, which is good because I want the loop dry, otherwise it can get really muddy and stuff anyway. So it just makes it nice and simple because this is now always mixed. It's always pretty much 100% ready to go. Some minor adjustments depending if I'm using a different system or a new room or whatever. And then I go back to my main and I've just got 2 levels to play with, like 2 channels and then the main output. It's super simple, really awesome. So this is the guitar that I use. It's a Cole Clark Thinline. Really, really nice guitar to use. Nice and thin, super comfortable for if you're gigging lots or doing lots of gigs. That's the PG3 pickup, their newest one, I believe, and it's a beast. It's an amazing pickup. Really, really close to like a true acoustic tone. And it's got a couple of different options on there. That FC button changes something in it, so it makes it like the new version or the older version, but I just leave it on new version because it's so good. So it's got the humbucker built into it, that comes from factory, and then volume and tone controls for that. The 3-way switch, that just selects, you know, either in the middle is where I leave it, and that is humbucker and just normal acoustic. You can have just acoustic or just humbucker. I generally leave it in the middle anyway. This one is a pickup from a Little Thunder pickups from the States, and it has 2 pickups in it. It's actually got a 6-pole magnetic pickup, which I don't use. It's all right. It works fine, but I bought this for the bass tone that it has. So it actually has a 3-pole magnetic pickup in it. So just the E, A, and D strings, and it's got the octave unit built into the pickup itself. And I've found, for me, it's the best tone. It sounds closest to an actual bass guitar compared to anything else that I've used. I've used a lot of Boss things, the OC5, OC3, OC1 back in the day. And yeah, this is the best for me. Down here, comes from factory, it comes with the 2 outputs. So this one here with the battery is for the acoustic, and that one is for the humbucker. I have replaced this one with a stereo output jack, and I've connected a Little Thunder pickup and the humbucker to that. So that way I only have two leads going to the guitar, one for the acoustic and then one for bass and electric. So with the 2 of those, like one guitar, I've got 3 different sounds to choose from, and then with the drums and the looper, it gives me that full one-man band sound, which is what I'm after. So I think that's about it. I think I've covered everything there. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments or shoot us a message. Yeah, look, I'm really stoked with the way this has turned out, and it's staying reliable, it's staying consistent. I love this little mixer. I've got another one as well that when I live stream, I actually use that so that I can now have a live stream mic as well, because I'm just out of inputs and there's no way to make it work. So I run left and right out into the other desk, and then my stream mic, and then out of the monitor send that to the front of house, and then USB mains goes to the phone that I'm recording with, and I can have the stream mic. So yeah, any questions, guys, let me know. Happy to talk about it, and I'll throw in a little demo for the finish. Okay, so a quick little run through just from the sort of my view, I guess. Kick drum, snare drum. On the HX Stomp, I've got, I just use the one patch or channel or whatever, and I use 3 presets. So one, this is just the electric guitar. There you go. So I've got it turned all the way down on patch 1, so that way I can quickly jump between, you know, a clean sound with everything, and straight into something a bit dirtier. So that's just distortion without any delay. I think there's a little bit of reverb on there. There it is. And then on the third one, I've got one same with a bit more boost, a bit more reverb, and a tap delay. So I can tap that in, obviously. Make it a bit longer. Yeah, so that's those 3. And then I've obviously got, this is the bass guitar on its own. And then with bass and acoustic. Just acoustic on its own. I'll show you how I build quickly. This is the one I use a lot to demonstrate how this sort of works. So kick drum there, snare drum. I just showed you all the sounds, and this is how I would loop a song like Billie Jean, with some drums first. Drums are going. Now with this one up here, I can stop it and then start it back with that again. If I hold that button, it'll clear it, and then I'll record some bass and I'll show you what this other button does. So that bass is playing now. That one will stop everything, make it play again. That one will just pull out the last overdub. So now that'll keep playing. I'll show you in a minute. So now I've got the guitar over the top. It'll pull out the guitar only. Everything underneath it will stay there. I'll tap in some delay on the electric tone. And that's about it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope that helps a couple of yous. Have a little boogie here with my colourful socks on. I always wear funny socks on stage because nobody needs to see my hairy feet. Any questions, chuck them in the comments, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.